All right, everybody, on behalf of Southeast Title, I want to welcome you guys to the Elite Eight. These are the Elite Eight strategies to help you win in the craziest real estate market in history. March Madness is in full swing, so I just wanted to have some fun with the topic and the theme. So we're going to just focus on these Elite Eight. So how we're going to do this, I am going to start out and give you guys a slide that is a strategy and then a slide with a bunch of questions to ask to help get you in the right mindset and also using the right pieces or the right tools to make that strategy work for you. So there's going to be a lot of different strategies that we cover, 8 of them, obviously. And my goal is that at the end of this, you pick one. So there's going to be a good chance where some of them make sense for your personality and some don't, and that's totally cool. Whatever it is that you get or however many of them you think might work, try to narrow it down to just one at the end when I do the summary, and I'll kind of share and talk about all of them. If we have not met yet, my name's Ryan McHugh. I work with Melissa at Southeast. Our goal is every week to add different value to you guys between education, which we do on Zoom every week at the same time. So every Monday at 1 o'clock, there's always a Zoom call with all different topics: social media, technology, lead generation, team building, scripts, objections, all that fun stuff. And then we do in-person events once a month in your marketplace as well. I ran the largest real estate team in the state of Florida. We did between 45 and 50 closings a month every month for 38 months in a row. And then I ran one of the largest real estate offices in Florida for about 5 years. That was number one in every measured category for just under 5 years. So now I take all that knowledge and help you guys grow your business. Our goal, of course, is to get the title business, but we want to do that by adding value and helping you grow your business first. So without further ado, let us dive into the Elite Eight. We are in the craziest market in real estate history. So what we want to do is kind of lay out a game plan here with 8 different strategies to make sure that you get the opportunity to take advantage of it. Again, please do not leave here trying to create all 8 of these strategies, or trying to go with all 8 of them, because it's not possible, not going to work, right? And you're not going to be able to be good at 8 different things. So I want you to pick the one that fits your personality, your skill level, and what it is that you like doing every day. So let's dive in. Let's dive in. Number 1, focus on getting educated and educating. So when we talk about this, a lot of people do a decent job at the education, right? They go to their broker for classes, or they go to their offices, or they come on our Zooms, or maybe they go to stuff at the real estate board. But are they then taking that and educating their database? That is the most important set of people that need the education. Yes, we need it as realtors or real estate professionals, but really who needs it is our database. They are the ones that are not making decisions because of a lack of education or a lack of a strategy, and you have the ability to give that to them. So let's think about, what are you learning every week? What are you learning every week that is helping you not only grow your business, but grow your knowledge level that you can teach and train to them every week? So what are you teaching every week? Are you teaching about rates every week? Are you teaching about prices and trends in the market? Are you teaching about what's going on in the economy in the local area? Or even just in the real estate world, more than just prices? Are you up to date on the market trends? So when people look for news or look for real estate information, very often they go to like one of 3 places: the news, social media, or Zillow, right? These are the 3 most common spots that people go for these things. And all of them are pretty much wrong when it comes to a local area. So are you up to date on those local market trends? What's happening in your subdivision? What's happening in your farm area, your zip code, your area, your MLS? And how are you teaching your database that? How are you sharing that with them? What about real estate related topics and trends? Are you up to date on those? So are you up to date on the mortgage rates, right? The last 6 months have been some of the craziest times in mortgage history. Last week alone, we had one day that was the largest single day rise in interest rates ever since they've been tracked. We gained over 20 basis points in less than 24 hours, which is insane. Right? Are you aware of that? And are you teaching and training the public what that means for their affordability? What about transaction trends? Are you understanding the new contracts every year when they come out, right? They usually get updated right around now. It's usually April. So we could be expecting something here in the next week or so. They did get a massive update last year. Are we about to get another round of those? Who knows? What about the things that are going on in real estate transactions? Wire fraud. We had some nasty wire fraud in South Florida last week. Was one of the bigger weeks for wire fraud in a couple of years. So are you informing people what that is about? Are you teaching them about that and how that works? So many people are not shooting their shot, or they're not running their plans simply because of a lack of education. So what are you doing to help them with that? Right? This happens mostly with people going from renting to buying. We'll see this as the biggest problem there. People don't buy because they don't understand that they can. They're just not educated enough on the matter. They might have taken advice from their parents or their family or their friends or somebody that's already renting, or maybe that's the life situation that they know, so they do it. Or maybe someone tells them, oh, you're not ready to buy yet, so they just go rent. Or maybe they don't know the process and it's intimidating to them and it's easier to walk into a rental complex, sign a quick lease, and do everything all in one place. Some people don't buy simply because they just don't know that you don't need a 700 credit score and 20% down. So they just don't buy, right? If you are educating yourself on the process, but if you're educating them, more importantly, these are going to turn into deals for you. So as we're, in the hardest real estate market in history, education and educating is one strategy that's going to get you there. Number two, becoming your own HGTV. So becoming your own local HGTV style content source. Think about why HGTV took off. All they really did was get a couple of cameras and follow people in different real estate niches and turn that into content, right? And they did this all without the help of social media. If you look at when HGTV really exploded, it was before Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all these things, right? It was way before that. They just followed realtors around, followed flippers around, followed design people around, and they turned that into a business. Now, the problem here was none of that is ever really local. If you watch like House Hunters, one of their more successful shows, what happens? 1 in every 50 episodes, they're in our state, right? They're in Florida. And, 1 in every couple of those, they're in a town that we've ever heard of or been in or maybe happened to service. So it took off because the ability to take real estate, go behind the scenes and make it national. But when people really want real estate content, where are they going? They're still going either to HGTV or they're going to places like Zillow. Local real estate content in general is crap. There's not much of it, right? People are not the go-to for looking at houses anymore. They're not the go-to for local real estate content. So that's an opportunity where you have to really grow a segment of the market, because in the toughest market ever, people want to work with people that they know live, work, and play in the area that they are trying to live, work, and play in. And being that local HGTV style resource is how you're going to do that. So are you taking advantage of social media? Are you using things like Facebook and Instagram Live, Facebook and Instagram Stories, Reels, any of these things to make the content that people obviously are dying to see because HGTV is still crushing it? Are we making that on a local level? And what niche are you working in, or what niche are you showing off, right? If you went to hgtv.com or whatever cable provider, however you watch TV right now, and you looked at all the stuff that HGTV puts out there, what is it? It's usually 30 or 60-minute doses of small real estate niches, right? They'll do House Hunters, then they'll do a show about a flipper, then they'll do the flea market fix it, or whatever it's called. They'll do the, home renovation on a budget, all these things. It's just 30-minute or 60-minute pieces of content that are small little niches that you guys have happening in your day very often every day, or you're working with buyers and sellers and investors and designers anyway. So why are we not using that to drive the traffic to us so that we can build the relationship like HGTV did? So strategy number 2 is building that local HGTV flair. Strategy number 3, this is probably the one that is the quickest path to money. It's also the path of the most resistance, so the hardest amount of work. But if you're looking to go with the one that's going to take you to money the quickest, I think it's going to be number 3 here. Focus on helping those that have failed. When we look back on the last 2 years of the real estate market, there's been lots of wins, but there's been way more failures than there have been wins. And these are the people that need help, because the people that have failed have, in some cases, given up on their real estate agents. In some cases, their real estate agents have given up on them. In some cases, they've given up on the market or the idea that they even could buy or sell. And they're sitting around failed because they haven't been educated, they haven't been helped, they haven't been coached, right? They haven't worked with someone local who they feel has been comfortable enough, or they've been comfortable enough with, to guide them through the process. So that's your opportunity. So there's 6 pieces of this, right? To me, there's kind of 6 questions or 6 areas that you can be working in. Now, you can do all 6 of these, or you can just do the one that you prefer, or maybe 2 that you prefer. But I want you to think about FSBOs, right? We've had a unique situation with FSBOs over the last couple of years. In 2021, it was the first time ever that the average days on market for a FSBO and the average days on market for a home sold with an agent was the same. Both were 7. Now, FSBOs were selling 6% lower in price, but because they were selling fast, people thought, I'm going to stop working FSBOs, or agents thought they were going to stop working FSBOs. But when they're selling fast, they're also giving up and failing fast, right? So the timeline that used to be 12 weeks for an average FSBO to sell went from 12 weeks to 7 days, basically overnight. And that's good and bad. It's good because it means it makes the timeline quicker, but it's bad for FSBOs because they think if they don't sell in 7 days, what are they doing, right? But that's actually a win for us as agents. You're seeing FSBOs fail and give up and throw in the towel and start accumulating days on market much quicker than they would have in the past. And as every day that they're failing as a FSBO is a great opportunity for us. Then expireds, right? People over the last 2 years have almost stopped working expireds because they think, oh, nothing's expiring. Now the numbers are drastically different, right? We used to see 1,000 expireds a day. Now we're not even seeing 1,000 expireds a month. However, there are still expireds every single day. And these are people that have failed. And what happened? If they relisted already, we're not even seeing them, right? But if they didn't relist, that means either they gave up on their agent gave up on them, or they gave up on the market. Either way, huge opportunity for us right now when the market's really the craziest it's ever been, and sellers should be getting the most they've ever gotten, and maybe the most they ever will get. Old expireds, when we look further back, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, these are people that have failed over and over again, sometimes 5 years ago. Now, surely some of them have relisted, but a lot of them haven't, right? And the ones that haven't, their home might be worth 20, 30, 40, 50% more now than it was when they tried to sell. So huge opportunity. What about buyers? There have been the move up buyers that have been trying to move out of their smaller house and into their bigger house that have been failing left and right because the people buying the bigger houses are buying with cash and these people are buying financing. So they've given up. They've given up on the market. They're just staying where they're at. They've given up on their agent. Their agent has given up on them. Opportunity for us to succeed in the hard market. What about renters? Renters that have been trying to get off that lifelong hamster wheel of renting have given up more in the last 2 years than ever before, right? Sometimes they start and stop again every month because they're on month-to-month leases and they just give up and give up and give up and give up. Most of this is because the market has been difficult, but we need to build this and work this strategy now because no one else is. And what about investors? If you didn't know this, on April 1st, big change in investing guidelines for people that are financing investment properties. And this is going to make a lot of investors fail and give up. Now, they're still going to want to invest in real estate. They're just going to need to adjust. They're going to need to get educated again and work with an agent that they feel is aggressive enough to get it done. So this strategy of working with people that have failed is going to be an easy path to, not easy, it's going to be a fast path to money for the people that are willing to do the work. All 6 of these sets of failures are people that are still ready to make a move. We just need to work them. Strategy number 4, creating your own unique value proposition. What are you doing that makes you different? Right? There are more real estate agents now than ever before. Back when I was running my office, the county used to have 50 new real estate agents a month, or a week rather. Now there's 50 new ones a day. So when we look at the numbers and how the agents are pouring in, we need to figure out, what are we doing that makes us different? Why should they pick you over all the others? If you ever do Toastmasters or any of those public speaking things, one of the things they make you do is a 30-second pitch. That's like an elevator pitch or an elevator speech to capture someone that's trying to do a deal or a sale in your business. And one of the things you want to think of is, how does a person win with you? How does a client win with you? Do you do the process differently? Do you specialize in something? This is where you want to narrow down and get really small. To build a big business, you have to start small and get really good at something. So think about what you're passionate about. Maybe it's helping veterans or first responders or condos on the beach or second homes or golf course communities or first-time buyers or converting renters to buyers, whatever it might be. It doesn't matter. But think what you're passionate about, how those people will win with you, and how the process is going to be different and why they should pick you over all the others. And then you need to get out there and scream that from the rooftops. If you want to be successful in this market, you have to be willing to do things different than others, and you have to tell the story. And if we look in every market, not just real estate, but we see this everywhere, right? If you look in the auto market, right, the car market, think about this, and I don't care what you drive or what you're into, but everyone will get this, right? There's always going to be Kia and there's always going to be Ferrari. And Kia could not possibly care less what Ferrari is doing, and Ferrari could not possibly care less what Kia is doing. right? They're each unique value propositions, which are nowhere near each other. One is more economy-based car for the everyday person. One hopes that you can't afford them, right? They only want the top 1%. They're marketing in a different way. You're winning with them in a different way, right? You should pick one over the other for a ton of different reasons, whichever way you go. Same with shopping, right? There's always going to be Walmart and there's always going to be Nordstrom's. And usually you know what you're getting yourself into when you walk into these, but they're unique, right? People that are passionate about different things are going to choose different locations. Same thing with real estate, right? People that are passionate about different things are going to attract different clients, and that's okay. You just need to come up with what yours is, what your unique value proposition is, and then get that out there and tell that story if you want to be successful in a certain niche in this market. Number 5, create a geographic farming strategy as soon as possible. Now, most people's farming strategy is either non-existent or it's ancient, right? I used to call the people that farmed our area the dinosaurs. You know, people in that neighborhood think they're the real estate agent of choice because they've been in there 25 or 30 years, yet their strategies and what they're doing are absolutely ancient, right? And you know, with any new kind of strategy and a little bit of hard work, 3 to 6 months of hard work, you could knock them right over and put them out of business. So ask yourself first, where are you farming? And are you doing the basic farming activities? Are you doing a piece of direct mail a month? Are you doing events in the local communities or businesses? Are you doing the pop buys for the holidays? Like on 4th of July, are you dropping off the little flags? And Halloween, are you doing the mini pumpkin things? Right? Just the basic stuff that gets you touching the farm. Then ask yourself, how often are you door knocking? If you have a geographic farm, if you're not door knocking at least once, don't even bother having that geographic farm because you will just get run over by the people that are willing to. Now, the good news is the farms that you build in these markets that are harder than ever before, you will retain them forever and you won't give those back. The market share that you grab now will not be lost, right? You will maintain them until you choose not to. And how much circle prospecting have you been doing? So are you calling your farm area? Are you on the phone with your farm area at least once a month? Now, if you're doing all these things, the phone calls, the door knocking, the direct mail, the pop buys, the events, if you're doing all 5 of these things, you can dominate a geographic farm quickly. And that is a killer strategy if you really want to win in a difficult market like we're in right now. Number 6, probably my favorite one. Find out the make me move number. What is your make me move number? What is your clients or prospect or leads make me move number? Everyone has one. I don't care who you are, what you say, everyone has one. I love when people say, oh, I'm not moving, or I like it here, so I'm not going to move. That is just not true. If someone came and offered you 125% of your value, 150% of your value, a lot of you would be packed up and in the car before I finish Zoom, right? Everyone has a number no matter what, and everybody has a location no matter what. And there's 4 key questions that you can ask to really dig these things out. But when people say, oh, I don't want to move, my kids are in school. Great. Well, what if you hit the lottery and they didn't have to go to school anymore? Where would you move? Right. And the goal is just to figure out what the gap is so you can start breaking that down. Right? Like less than 1 in 1,000 people are actually living in their true, honest dream home, like the one that they want to be in forever. They're living in the situation that makes sense financially, physically, geographically for them right now. But is that their number 1 choice of where to live? No. And if the money was right, would they leave? Yes. And this is one of the only markets in history where the market is here, right? And someone's like, go crazy, get me out of the house number is here. But for like the first time ever, those numbers are closer than ever before. I get to see the numbers, every day. I see the contracts every day, the numbers, the deals, all the orders that come into our companies. And when I look at those every day, I always see numbers that, you're just blown away by. Like you can't believe that people are paying $50,000 over for something. You can't believe the contracts and the deals that are coming together. So for the first time ever, the make me move number and the market number are so much closer than you would think. And if you start asking good questions and really diving deep with people, you'll learn that. So here's 4 questions to ask. First one is a very high D direct kind of question, but everyone has a number. What's yours? Just find out what their number is. And when they say, oh, for 450, I would move. Great. Now we think your house is worth at market about 400. So our gap is about 50,000. Now you guys know as well as I do, we're seeing deals get done at 50,000 over list price every day, right? In every market in the state. It's not unreal. It's not unheard of. So that gap might be closed. Another one, when you ask someone if they would like to move or where they would move, and they say, well, I'm not going to move. You just say, great, I know you don't want to move, but let's just say you were going to move. Where would you go? If you had to move, or if you really needed to move, where would you go? And you'd be surprised how quickly people come up with an answer. Sometimes it's the same town, but a bigger or smaller house, or closer to the water, or closer to family. And sometimes it's the dream town, where they want to live or they want to retire. But again, if we get that location and we have the number, now we have a make me move number and a make me move location, and we can start piecing deals together because it's not unrealistic to do. Another good question, how much money would you have to clear from your house selling to make you move? So sometimes they say, well, if I clear 200 grand, I would move. Great. What's important to you about that? Well, then I could put $100,000 down on another house and put 100,000 in my pocket so I could buy a boat or a car or a jet ski or a watch, whatever. Right. So now you know the money gap, what they do if they move, where they'd go. You can start putting these things together so much easier than you think. You're helping to identify sellers before those sellers know that they are sellers. So let's say your home sold today. What would you do with the money? This is another one where you find out where people say retirement home, buy an RV, buy a boat, live in an Airbnb, travel, whatever it is. All four of these questions help you determine people's make me move number and make me move location. And when you get them, you should tag these things in your database. And when you get someone that says, well, I'm not selling, my house is worth 400, I'm only moving if I get 500. Great. Now you have an off-market listing for 500 that hey, if someone got that number, if they got 500, they'd move. So when you meet a buyer looking to move to that area, you can say, hey, I have an off-market deal. It's overvalued, right? Or it's overpriced. But if you don't want to compete against anybody else and you want this awesome house, here's the deal. And you could start putting these things together. Strategy number 7, targeting your marketing number in the correct places, not just making mass posts on Facebook that are really not generating any business for us, right? There's 4 key areas right now that you should be focusing on. Number 1 is, who are you sending CMAs to every week? Are you sending a CMA every week? If you're not, and you have buyers, you are not servicing those buyers correctly. If you are not sending out a CMA every single week, there's no possible way you could be servicing a buyer at a high level. Because if you have a buyer and you're just waiting for something to come on the MLS for them to do a deal, you might be waiting for 3 or 4 more years, right? So we need to get in that habit of sending targeted CMAs out every day or every week to the areas that our buyers want to live in, and watch how many deals you grab out of that. Number 2, what off-market opportunities are you exploring? Are you talking to the absentee owners? Are you talking to the delinquent taxes? Are you talking to the high equity people? Because those are the ones that are unlikely, to just list on the market right away, but they're strong, strong, strong sellers. What about distressed, right? Have you checked in on any distressed sellers lately? Still making up about 5% of the market between short sales and foreclosures. Now, a lot of people aren't focusing on these because when the market's good, they don't pay attention to them, but these are coming back, right? These are things that we need to focus on, because 5% of the market in our state is hundreds of thousands of transactions. There's huge numbers there. And who do you know that may be in or was in forbearance? If you didn't know this, the last day to file COVID-related forbearance was Halloween, right? October 31st, 2021. Now, if you go through the entire forbearance process, it can go 18 months. So that means we're going to have people coming out of forbearance mid of 23, like spring, summer 2023. So this is not going away. And if there's people currently in forbearance or that were in forbearance, we can help them, right? And those are great deals. These are 4 great areas you should be marketing to. If you're not currently, it's time to. And number 8, becoming the real estate resource for any and all. Ask yourself this: are you the local economist of choice? Do people come to you to talk about interest rates, mortgage rates, prices? Are they coming to you to talk about that? If not, you need to change that. Do you have the best vendor list in the area? Obviously, we want to be on there for title. And I'm sure you have a mortgage company or somebody that wants to be on there for that. But do you have someone that's a painter, someone that cleans pools, someone that power washes your roof so the HOA doesn't get mad, someone that does windows and window treatments and, I don't know, plants and landscaping and whatever? Do you have a vendor list for all that? Are you the go-to for all the small businesses? Are you the go-to for the best spots to eat and drink and hang out and walk the dog and play with the kids in town? If not, you're missing out, right? Is someone in any location in your database thinking of you as the number 1 real estate resource? So if you moved here from Chicago, does your friend in Chicago think, hey, if I have a real estate question, I'm going to call my friend in Florida? If not, this is an area you need to work on if you want to succeed in this market. So what I ask from you is, which one would you choose? Which one of the 8 is the one that stands out the most to you? Is it focusing on getting educated and then actually educating your database and customers? Is it becoming your own HGTV and being that local resource? Is it focusing on helping those that have failed? Are we working those FSBOs and expireds and buyers and renters and investors? Are we creating our unique value proposition and screaming that from the rooftop so we can help people win in our little niche? Number 5, are we creating a geographic farming strategy as soon as possible that is more than just direct mail? Number 6, are we finding out everyone in our database or lead pools make me move number? Number 7, are we targeting marketing in the correct places? And number 8, are we becoming the real estate resource for any and all, regardless of our geographic or our physical location? So pick one of these and make sure you're running with it. As always, thank you guys for your business. Kerry, thank you as always for the slides and making everything look nice. Coming up next week, I can't believe it's April already. We're going to do handle objections from sellers so you can handle today's market. We're going to do the top 4 objections that sellers are giving people in today's market and how to handle them with objection handlers and scripts and strategies and all that fun stuff. If you are not already in my private Facebook group, it is free. Take out your phone, point the camera at that QR code, and it will take you right there. If you have any questions, type them in the chat or feel free to unmute yourself. If not, you are free. Thanks a lot and have a good day.